Hey everybody, it's your girl, Miss Nia Imani, and I am the host of the Investor's Journey podcast. Welcome to our official first episode. I don't have a specific topic that we're going to talk about today, but I just wanted to come on and officially introduce myself to my audience and to the people that I have been called to serve on this platform. So the first thing that we're going to do is I just want to let you know what the Investor's Journey is. Of course, it's a podcast. You can watch it right here on YouTube, or you can head on over to Spotify and listen to the audio if you would like to do that as well. And it will be at the Investor's Journey on both platforms, okay? And the Investor's Journey, we represent a community and a culture of individuals who are connected through the power of real estate. And we will be highlighting three primary subjects, which will be acquisitions, renovations, and exit strategies. I'm going to be introducing to you and conducting interviews of industry professionals as well as celebrities who have one thing in common, and that is to build generational wealth through real estate. I want to welcome you once again to the Investor's Journey podcast. And today, like I said, we don't have a specific topic, even though we're going to be talking about best practices. I'm going to be sharing strategies. I'm going to be bringing in different subject matters that will be beneficial to you out there in the field. If you are a first-time or experienced real estate investor, this is definitely the place for you. I've been in the industry for over 15 years and I'm constantly learning. I believe that once we get to that plateau and say we don't have anything else to learn, that's when we cut off our ability to grow. So as you learn and as you grow in this industry, hopefully the Investor's Journey podcast can be a catalyst for your success, okay? And again, I just wanted to make sure that I formally introduce myself, and you guys are gonna get to know me over time, okay? I can't tell it all. I mean, it's a long story and different things will come out as time permits, and also there's a time and a place for everything. There's a season and a reason for me to, put a little bit more out there, for me to, show you a little bit more of who I am and what I've been doing in the industry. And then also I'm going to take you on a journey to the things that I am getting ready to do in this industry. Like I said, I've been on this path for quite some time, even personally myself, but there's so many more milestones that I want to accomplish and that I want to achieve as a businesswoman and as the lead her and the matriarch of my family. And I guess that's a great place to start. I mean, I'm a mother of 3 grown children. Yes, honey, don't let this pretty face fool you, baby. I have 3 children, 29. My oldest will be 30 this year. I cannot even comprehend that. But anyway, I have a 27-year-old daughter and a 20-year-old son. And then I have 4 grandbabies who affectionately call me Love. Yes, honey. So let me just tell you a little bit of backstory on how that happened. So my daughter allowed me to give my oldest granddaughter her middle name. So I came up with Mi Amor. And in Spanish, Mi Amor means my love. So initially, it was going to be my love for me, but then we just cut it to love. Everybody caught on. The 7-year-old, the 5-year-old, the 4-year-old, the 2-year-old, they all call me love, and it is like the best thing ever. my oldest granddaughter asked me one day, she was like, "Love, why we can't call you grandma?" Do not even try it, little miss thing, okay? So love stuck and it's up, okay? And the other thing is that I am originally from Stockton, California. Do y'all know about that? A lot of people don't. It's about, I would say maybe, and this is a big maybe, 20-mile radius in Northern California. It is south of Sacramento, and it is east of Oakland, okay? So just to give you some type of like geographic pinpoint on the map to where you could think, and it's like 7 hours north of LA. So Stockton, yeah, born and raised, where I spend most of my days. No, I'm just playing. I was born and raised in Stockton. You know, always been super ambitious, always felt like there was a bigger place in the world. There was something more for me to experience, for me to discover. I've always kind of had that sense of urgency to do something different, you know, and I am a survivor of a lot of things. I've actually am a domestic violence survivor. I was a teenage mom. I dropped out of school at 16 years old. I was homeless by the age of 20, getting out of that domestic violence relationship. However, never once did I even consider about allowing my situation, my circumstances, the cards that I had been dealt to derail or discourage my future. Becoming a teenage mom basically accelerated my mission to not just adhere to the status quo, to do things very different. And I became a single mom at an early age as well. My kid's father was in and out of prison. And so I had to figure it out, you know, and I never made excuses. Actually, growing up and being a teenage mom was fun to me. I mean, me and my kids, we had, you know, a blessed life. I don't remember like struggling or any of that, you know, because like I said, I pretty much matured, you know, really early on and just took a very like hopeful attitude and disposition about where I was and the things that I wanted to accomplish. So prior to, you know, just kind of that 360-degree transformation for me, as I stated before, you know, I experienced homelessness, trying to get away from that domestic violence relationship. And I even went to work from the homeless shelter. I don't know, it was just something kind of like innate strength that I was able to pull on and that I was able to just reference. And I know now, because it's more prevalent, that people say, you know, I had the strength and the support and the guidance of my ancestors, of God, of the universe, of my spirit, you know, angels that pretty much protected me along the way, because there was so many obstacles, there was so many things that could have took me out of here years and years and years ago. But there's always been kind of like this angel covering over my life. And I'm so grateful for that. And even this podcast, as long overdue as it is, I'm so grateful. You know, God has really blessed me with the knowledge and the ability to, you know, basically be in charge of our own production and just really have a say in what we're doing, how we're going to roll this thing out, and the vision for what we're going to do right here at the Investor's Journey, okay? So with that being said, transitioning from homelessness and living in the shelter and then working, like I said, I went to work every day, but I started a job at Budget Rent-A-Car first. I was working at the mall, and two gentlemen came in the mall, and I don't even know how we got on the subject about me living in a homeless shelter or whatever, but they were managers at Budget Rent-A-Car. So they offered me a job, so I went in there and I got that job and I worked there. You know, I wasn't even at the ticket counter. I was like hustling, cleaning cars, like transporting cars to the airport and stuff. It was like get it how you live, for real. Okay? I mean, I've never been afraid to like work hard and, you know, do the things that I needed to do. And even still to this day, I still have the same personality. You know, a lot of people, they just really admire my tenacity. And I think sometimes I take that for granted because that is not normal. That is rare, to just be built from a different cloth, to just be able to, you know, take those lickings and keep on sticking and turn lemons into lemonade and, you know, make, you know, $1 out of 15 cents. Like, that is a skill, baby. That is a gift. And if that is you, if you can relate to that, I want you to stop and just give thanks for who you are and who you're getting ready to become. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure, many are called, but few, very few are chosen. And you are one of the chosen ones. You are one of the ones that God said, that one is mine. And trust me, I'm a living witness. I've been through it all. Car accidents, guns pulled on me, fights. I mean, just all kinds of things, like, you know, selling drugs and, you know, in a trap house, like super young. I mean, getting caught up in raids, like all the shit that you could think of, your girl done did it, okay? But moving back to transitioning from homelessness to then homeownership, this is where it started shifting for me. So I was working at Budget Rent-A-Car, and we were living in the Bay Area, because when I left that relationship, I pretty much just went ghost and left Stockton, California, moved to Oakland, California. I talked my sister into going, and we got there and we didn't have nothing. Baby, let me tell you, I left my car in Stockton because, kind of long story, but I'm gonna try to make it short because I know I've kind of been all over the place, but I hope y'all following me. How I got to Oakland was my kid's father, like I said, he was in and out of, you know, gangs and stuff like that. And one time, you know, because in California we have sets, right? So you got the east side, the west side, the south side, and the north side. So one time the north side and the east side had a football game against each other. Then the south side came through, you know, doing their little naughty boy gang thing, and my windows got shot out of my car. So yeah, it was a lot going on at the time. My baby was 1. I think my son was like 3 years old. And at that point I was like, you know what? This is not for me. It's not safe for my kids. This is not how I see myself, you know, just really becoming the woman that God has called me to be. So I talked my sister into basically just taking our little welfare check, girl, and food stamps that we had at the time, and leaving everything behind. We literally didn't even tell anybody that we were going, and that's how we ended up in the homeless shelter. And we brought our kids with us. Like I said, you know, no excuses, only elevation. That's the only way that we going, honey, is up, 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 up. And so when I got to the homeless shelter from that experience, and then I got the job at Budget, and then from there, I started working at Bank of America. And this is like when the light bulb came on for me about finances, because I was blessed with a job in the IRA department. And let me tell y'all a funny story. So I was partying, honey. We was living in Oakland, and it was the heyday, the hyphy movement, sideshows, all that. So your girl was out 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning sometime. Sometimes we would be out to the next day, and then had the nerve to roll up in church. Let me tell you, girl, it was on and popping. However, this particular time I had an interview, and I had went out the night before, so I was hella late to the interview. So I pulled up to the interview, and yeah, I was like maybe a couple hours late. So I think I was supposed to be there like 10, and I got there like noon. And so I walked in with a straight face, because one thing about me, even to this day, honey, I'm gonna get it done. And I walked in there, I was like, yes, I have an interview at noon. And the lady looked at the clock, and she looked at me, and I looked at her like, what, girl? Go ahead and squeeze me on in there. I know I'm a little late, but you know, I had to get myself together. I had a long night. And so I got the job at Bank of America. I had never worked in the banking industry before, and I was working in the IRA department. So this is a department, it's the individual retirement accounts. This is where people are saving and investing for their future and their retirement, right? So I started seeing all these accounts, 300,000, 500,000, 150. I'm like, wait, what's going on? You know, these are some things that I had never seen before. The only people that I saw in my neighborhood that had money was the dope boys. I don't know about you, but that was what was going on in my community, right? So I really got intrigued with the industry, and I wanted to learn more, and I started asking about mutual funds. I started asking about money market accounts, and that just kind of really took like a snowball effect in my life. And it was a lot of older people that had been there for like 5, 6, 7 years and had never really just like got invested in the industry. And I pretty much, you know, I just engulfed myself in that environment, and I wanted to learn more. I wanted to grow, and I started, you know, just really becoming a good steward over my money. Even though I was partying and having a good time, and I was still relatively young, I was like, you know, in my early 20s, I always had money. I always paid my bills on time. And, you know, my friends used to be like, dang girl, how you always have money? And, you know, you always dress nice, your kids are dressed nice, your house is nice. And I was just, you know, very, very, very responsible with the things that I have been blessed with. And shortly after that, remember, I was homeless at 20, and by 23, I had taken that opportunity and really pushed it to the limit and became a homeowner at 23 years old, okay? And like I always tell people, you know, when I speak, it does not matter how you start. Your future is determined by how you keep going. And there is going to be adversity. There are going to be times where you just want to say, you know what, this ain't for me. I'm not going to do this anymore. But you have to trust the process. And not only do you have to trust the process, you have to learn to trust yourself. And so the investor's journey is so appropriate for who I am as a woman, who I am as a businesswoman, and then also who I am as a generational wealth builder and mentor and teacher and, you know, just person of influence in this industry that has not taken the straight path, but still on the journey, still committed, still consistent, still showing up, still pouring and caring about other people and making sure that they could leverage my knowledge, that they could leverage my, you know, experience in this industry. And so from the IRA department, and after I bought my house, I got a call. A young lady wanted me to do a refinance, but I was not ready to do a refinance on my house at that time. But her and I hit it off over the phone. And so she said, you know what, you have such a great personality. Have you ever thought about doing mortgage loans? I had never thought about it, but again, scared money don't make no money. I just did a video about that today, and I was like, listen, I'm down to try it. I was actually commuting about an hour and a half to work, and this would have been a local position, so I was like, run it. So she got me the interview, and that's when I became a loan officer in 2000. So I started doing loans. I was doing really, really good. And I met a gentleman, I want to say, I can't really even remember where I met him, but it was in a life insurance class. I met him in a life insurance class. And so I was in the process of getting my life insurance, you know, even though I had, got into the mortgage industry. And he told me about government contracting. So the government contracting, he hooked me up with a person named Michael Pruitt at the time, who later became my mentor, walked me through the government contracting process, and I actually opened my first business as a commercial janitorial specialist doing government contracts. Within the first year, I had 7 government contracts. My mentor would go with me on accounts. My first account that I got there's a bidding process, and typically you're bidding against like other businesses and things like that. But God loved me so much because I said yes. When he said go, I said, I'm ready. And I was even trusting the process back then, to quit my job and then start this janitorial service. And I'm a first generation entrepreneur. I didn't know anything about starting a business, and my mentor walked me through the process. I got my first contract. Nobody else even showed up. It was just me, okay? It was just me. And so I got that contract, and then my mentor, he loved me so much. He would just bid on stuff and give it to me. And so during this time I met my ex-husband at that time. And him and I were doing the business together. And so me and my ambitious self, the little girl from the hood that thought she could, so she did, okay, brought this man into my life, and we were completely and wholeheartedly unequally yoked. He would complain, he didn't want to do the contracts, he would say, this your business and not mine. I mean, it was hell, okay? And eventually, it just really took a spiral, and we winded up separating. And that was when I decided that I was moving to Atlanta. I had never been here before. I didn't know anybody. But again, something in my spirit said, girl, go. And so me and a friend of mine had taken a class, one of those, how to invest in real estate classes. And that's what I came to Atlanta to do. I said, I'm going to Atlanta, I'm selling my house in Cali, and I'm going to Atlanta, I'm gonna be a real estate investor. Everybody thought I was crazy. My friends, my parents, they were really concerned because I had children, and I had a third baby by this time by my ex-husband, and I didn't know, what we were going to come across or what we were going to, experience when we moved here. But I just had like this crazy faith, like anywhere gotta be better than where I am, right now. So sold my house in California, and that really helped me understand the power of real estate. Like I said, everything that we're doing with the investor's journey is kind of like a piece of me, and so when I sold the house for probably like 3 times the amount that I bought it for, I was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing. So I came here and I was super serious about it. I started networking, meeting, a lot of people in the industry. I joined Georgia RIA back in the day. I started doing creative deals, partnering with people, joint ventures, just driving for dollars, door knocking. Door knocking is not that safe now, but back then I definitely did door knocking. I was not afraid. I did not have fear. I actually winded up calling a billboard of a African-American woman that I saw on a billboard in my neighborhood over in Clayton County. That's where I lived when I first moved here. And I asked her, I said, hey, my name is Nia Imani. I'm new from California, and I was wondering if I could be an apprentice, work in your office. And so after a small conversation, she invited me to her office, Bernice Dolphin. Hey, boo. And yeah, I started, doing real estate. And my first client flew in from California, and I took her out driving around Atlanta. I barely knew how to get around Atlanta myself, but I was starting to do a lot of the things that I do now formally. Back then, I was kind of very unconscious, and it was real, just kind of piece hodgepodge and put together, just kind of coupling my corporate background, my business background, and kind of like trusting, God, like, okay, I think this is right. So she flew in from California, took her out to see property. She wound up wanting to write an offer on one. So we go back to the office. The real estate broker that I was working with at the time, she was like, wait. I had to convince her that it was a real deal. She was like, how are you selling houses and my agents are not even selling houses, okay? So needless to say, I closed that deal. My client went back to California. I had to learn how to do property management, because she was a buy and hold investor. So I went to Barnes and Nobles and bought How to Be a Weekend Landlord and taught myself the property management, opened up a whole tenant placement business. People started flying in from California, from Florida, from New York, saying, hey, a friend of mine, referred me to you. And it just started growing. Before I knew it, I was managing like 26 properties, working with all these different investors. They were out of state. So I had to pretty much learn the process. So that's how we got to the acquisitions, because it's important to know how to buy the properties. You got to make sure that you're getting a good deal. You got to make sure that you're buying the property right. That's how the renovations subject matter is still relevant to this day, because you need to be able to properly evaluate your costs and be able to account for that when you are in the process of purchasing, so that you can make sure that your exit strategy is going to make sense, okay? And sometimes you're going to fix and flip. You're going to go in, you at a low cost, and then you're going to sell high. And then you're going to get the bankable equity that's in between after you renovate the property. Sometimes you're going to go in and you're going to buy it and hold it and just sit and wait for the equity to rise. Sometimes you can refinance, pull that money out, but you got to know this when you're going in. So our channel, The Investor's Journey, I'm going to be featuring other people that have powerful testimonies and powerful stories like myself. But our primary key is to give you, our audience, the people who are coming here to listen and to watch, the knowledge and information and the skills, the resources that you need to be successful in this industry. I have seen it all. I've seen people do things the right way. I've seen people do things the wrong way. And I've seen people say, you know what, I don't really know how to do this. Can you guide me in the right direction? And this is why we're here. There was some things that I wasn't able to share because, there's so many things that I could say, and I want to keep this episode under 30 minutes. I've been on all sides of the deal. Like I said, I've been a loan officer. I've been a loan processor. I've been a loan review analyst. I've been a property manager. I've overseen construction projects. There's so many things. And first and foremost, an investor. Come on. I have a room rental business. I provide lifestyle retreats for professional women. I've done Airbnb. I've done it all. And I want to be able to bring those resources to this channel so that you can have access to that information. I'm excited. I'm so honored that you're here. I'm so honored that God didn't give up on me. Even when I wanted to quit and give up on myself, that He said, no, your future holds the key to so many other people. And if I don't allow you to be resilient, to get on the other side of this obstacle, so many other people's dreams and their hopes and their admirations and just the things that they want to accomplish will not be possible. I got 3 new clients just this week, and their common theme was, I knew that I can call you in order to help me go from where I am to where I want to go. And that is an honor. I'm so grateful. I'm basking in gratitude, not just for the inception and this first episode of the Investor's Journey. Remember, we represent a community and a culture of people who are connected through the power of real estate. We're going to highlight acquisitions, renovations, and exit strategies. You're going to see amazing interviews of different people. I'm dropping an episode next week of 2 young millennials that are future millionaires in the making. Watch my word, okay? They are brilliant. They are amazing. I can't wait to share their story, their journey with you. And we have so many other people that are connected to me, that are now connected to you, and you're connected to us. Welcome to the Investor Journey Podcast. You are now officially part of the community and the culture. I'm your girl, Miss Nia Imani, the deal developer at Fabulous Life Investments. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how you grow, to see how you just manifest your heart's desires. And until next time, subscribe, share it with a friend, and we'll be back again.